I was born and raised in the same town that I currently reside in. This is the only home I know, and it would stay that way if I had it my way. However, currently as things are, our local economy has been tanking over the last 30 years, and the town is barely holding on to its residents. I'm sorry, that was just a long-winded way of saying that my town is crappy. But yeah, the reason why I mentioned the poor state of my town is so that you'd understand why we have so many empty homes and buildings around town. Ironically, when I was only a few years younger, having so many empty buildings around town was actually really awesome. Me and my friends had so many places to explore. And sometimes, when we got really lucky, we would find unsold products that the original owners of the stores didn't bother to take. It was a lot of fun. Having mentioned all of that, I'm going to take you back to the year 2015 when I was 13 years old. It was on a Sunday at around 2 p.m. My best friend Miles and I, we were exploring a local shopping center that had gone belly up some 10 years ago. That day, our plan was to scavenge as many metal display shelves as we could. My dad gave us the go-ahead to use one of the sheds in the backyard as me and Miles's little HQ. I had been begging him for that space for half a year, and had finally gotten the permission. Long story short, my room and my sister's are situated right next to each other. So with only a thin wall separating the two rooms, my sister made one too many noise complaint to mom and dad for me to have a normal 13-year-old social life. That's why I needed the shed, and the shed required some redecorating. Shelves were needed for that. Miles and I were at the center of the shopping mall when we heard people coming in from the west side of the entrance. We quickly hid in one of the changing rooms at the Once Upon a Time clothing store. We had to hide because we knew some questionable persons did use the building to conduct their shady businesses from time to time. They were more than likely kids from our school, but it's not smart to take chances on something that can get you offed. So anyway, me and Miles are inside a changing room. Both of us have our backs against the inner wall to make sure our feet are not seen so easily. Unless, of course, someone ducks under to see what's under the curtain, but we were hidden fairly well. About 20 seconds passes and we hear several men arguing about something. As they get closer, it becomes apparent that something sinister is happening. We hear a girl begging to be freed, followed by someone hitting her, then the girl sobbing. From the loudness of their voices, we can tell they were standing right in front of the store we were hiding in. Now, the conversation is heard much clearly. One of the men says, "Yo, it's better to wait for the next shipment and ship this girl with them. Why would you double the chances of getting caught by using two trucks for two separate deliveries?" Then another man responds, "This is a shipping hub, you dumbass. Products don't stay here, they get shipped out of here. You stay here long enough and you get kids coming in to snoop around the place. Then what happens? We'll have to ship those kids out too, and our business in this town will be over. Then what are you gonna do? Where will you find a better place to do business than this shithole of a town? So no, she gets shipped out right now. Call the driver." We could hear the first guy to talking to someone on the phone. Presumably, he's calling the driver. I continue to hear the girl sobbing, and I feel like I have to do something to help her. I take my phone out and gesture for Miles to do the same. Then I show him that I'm putting the phone in silent mode, and Miles does the same. I proceed to text my dad, mom, and sister to let them know what's happening. Shortly thereafter, I get a reply from my dad which reads, "Stay put, do not intervene. We call the police and they'll be there shortly." Seconds later, Dad sends another message to make himself clear. It reads, "I will kill you myself if you do anything stupid. Stay put, let the police do their job." After that, I hand over the phone to Miles and show him the messages. He nods, and now we play the waiting game. As the seconds dragged on, we hear the girl getting slapped a couple of times. Then one of the men says, "I'm gonna be riding on the back of the truck with you. You just wait, girl. I've got a big surprise for you." I don't know this girl. And logically speaking, I shouldn't care much about what happens to her. But why am I so angry and in such a pain to have to listen to her suffer? I don't know if this makes me a terrible person, but if I'm honest, if I had a gun with me, I'd take down every single one of the kidnappers outside. Minutes that feel like hours pass when suddenly there's a loud commotion outside. The cavalry had arrived. We heard the cops yelling, hands up and on the ground or something of that matter. It is chaotic outside, but no shots have been fired so far. About 5 minutes later, we hear someone approaching the changing rooms. Both Miles and I raise our hand up because we know it's the cops outside and we want them to know we are harmless. One of the police officers opens the curtain and says to us, "You must be the guys who tipped us," to which we both nodded. The officer continued, "Put your hands down and follow me. The suspects have been arrested and taken out of the building. I'm going to take you guys through the south side of the exit so we can keep your identities concealed." And yeah, that's how the whole thing wrapped up. The creeps were sent to jail after a trial. I heard the girl was okay and she was sent to her family. And me and Miles got a personal thank you from the captain of the police department that responded to the call. It felt really good to have done the right thing. Miles and I, we couldn't have been happier that the girl was saved. Sadly, however, the current news of my town isn't all that good. We still have many criminals who use our town to do their business. The small number of cops cannot be hoped to patrol all the abandoned buildings around town. Who knows what goes on in those places on a daily basis? It's scary to think that I live in the epicenter of crimes in our region. My dad says he might get a job in the city, and we are possibly moving out of this godforsaken place once and for all. I can't wait to feel safe again outside. I hope Miles and his family will soon get out of this town as well. It's sad to feel this way since I've made so many great memories with my friends here. But that's the reality and I no longer want to be part of it.